Okay, we want to solve the inequality algebraically, showing a sign graph for our work and giving the answer in interval notation. This is a nonlinear inequality because there is a cube on the variable. So our first step is to get 0 on one side. It technically does not matter which side you get 0 on. Oops, I'm sorry, that's a less than. But I like to keep the highest power, or my degree, with a positive coefficient. So I want a positive x cubed. Now that you have 0 on one side, factor. So the first step here is to take out the common factor of x. Don't forget the common factor. Always look for that first. And now what's on the inside is a difference of squares, which factors as x minus 5, x plus 5. Now that it's factored, we need to find what's called the split points. Split points come from setting each factor with a variable x equal to 0. Not the inequality. Always equal for your split points. So x equals 0 for this factor, x minus 5 equals 0 for this factor, and x plus 5 equals 0 for the final factor. This one's already solved. This one gives us x equal 5, and this gives x equal negative 5. Okay, why are these called split points? Because we use them to divide or split up a number line. Make sure you put these in numerical order. Negative 5, 0, and 5. This has given us 1, 2, 3, 4 different regions on the number line. Pick your favorite number within each region. Don't pick a split point. Pick something in between. So here I'm going to pick negative 6. In between negative 5 and 0, I'm going to pick negative 2. In between 0 and 5, I'm going to pick 3. And greater than 5, I'm going to pick 100. Any number within the region. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Now, what do you do with those test points? Put them into the portion of the inequality that's factored and compared to 0. And all I care about is the sign, whether or not it gives me something positive or negative. Okay, so negative 6. If I put that in for x, I get a negative. Negative 6 minus 5 is also negative. Negative 6 plus 5 is also negative. And when I multiply 3 negatives together, I end up with a negative. Now the next one, negative 2. Negative 2 in for x, that's a negative number. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative. Negative 2 plus 5 is positive. And when you multiply a negative times a positive, it becomes positive. Okay, now 3. 3 itself is positive. 3 minus 5 is negative. 3 plus 5 is positive. Positive times positive is negative. And the last one, I picked 100. 100 in for x, that's a positive. 100 minus 5 is positive, and 100 plus 5 is positive. And of course, 3 positives multiplied still gives you a positive. Now, I know these signs alternate, and on many of your problems they will alternate, but on some of them they will not. So you can't just trust that it always alternates. How do you use that to answer the problem? When we plug into here, we are looking for values that are less than 0. Have to read your inequality. This time I want less than 0, which means I want the negative regions. There's no equal to on my inequality, so I'm going to use open intervals from parentheses negative infinity to negative 5 with a parentheses. Union or comma is fine. My other negative region goes from 0 to 5. And this is the answer to this inequality using my sign graph or my sign chart.